Time for the show. You can't do that on Days Force. Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode 2 of probably a lot of You Can't Do role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom. As always, let's make some stuff. First, let's show the screen. Heyo. I am patting myself on the back because I am doing such a good job of organizing all this You Can't Do That on Salesforce content for this project. We've got a GitHub repo somewhere. Ta-da! It's got stuff in it. It's got some actual words that describe the thing that we're trying to make, even though it's ridiculous. I'm gonna be a good kid. I gotta remember the object model from last week. It's still here. Shared it with y'all. May not make a lot of sense right now, but we got it. And we're gonna keep this up to date. So yeah, there you go. Let's do that. I'm gonna get all of the full stream of last week's episode is up. We'll do it again this week, and we might get some clips out there. Clips are the hardest part of to keep up with. I need like an editor. I actually tried to find some AI apps out there that, I just figured, I just upload my video or point it at YouTube and comes a transcript summary and stuff like that. And those tools are there. I just haven't found the right one. I tried 2 or 3 and they just weren't it. So I'm hoping for a little AI support around all that. So, but regardless, full streams out there for your, for your viewing pleasure. Sure you want to cuddle up and, sit by the TV and watch 3 hours of, me and my beard. So anyway, where were we? Well, last week we built some stuff. We talked about some concepts. We designed a data model. I probably should bring this whole thing up here, I guess. I hope this still works. There it is. Started building this thing. Everything in green we worked on last week. And toward the end of the show, I made this misstep here. I called this quest step or game step or something. Anyway, it was linked to the wrong object. And that was wrong. We needed a different set of relationships. So unfortunately, one of the flows that we built last week was wrong, pointed at the wrong objects. That's okay. We'll fix that this week. It's Halloween. So I want to work on the monster stuff, right? I want to figure out how we design monsters. I wonder if there are aspects of monsters that we, that are like characters, right? Like, are they so different? I don't know. That might be something to consider. That was my shower thought of the day today is, are characters and monsters really the same? Like you have a bestiary in some of these like Dungeons and Dragons, you go buy a book and it's full of monsters and it gives you all the ideas. But then, I obviously need them in a game. So, and specifically, they're going to be part of a step that that our characters take through the game. So I think as we get into that, that may be one and the same. I don't know, or maybe I'm overforcing an abstraction that doesn't really need to be there. So we might end up with monster object just to start, and then we'll see where that takes us. Okay. Anyway, let us, got like 4 different, let's see. Hey, there's the Twitch stream, by the way. Let's watch that down there. Gotta make sure the internet's working for all this stuff. So many diagrams. How to embed an iframe. A couple of things about SFDX that were working slow. Me trying to figure out what is this new permission set that I discovered. Okay, back to it. I probably need to connect to my org again. Here we are, and here we go. So, we've got our objects. We need to take a look at our flows. I would love to get a game started and get a quest, created. Let's look at our app. All right, so we have we've manually created a game called Merlin's Mission. We have a couple of characters. I think we may just have one character. Yep, Merlin's our character. So I believe he's associated with this game. And the first quest in the game is the Dark Cave of Darkness. Now this is actually a game quest. This should be a game quest object. So some of the relationship fields are buried under here, but this would, yeah. So this is the quest. This is a game quest record here. Yep. So it just associates the game to a quest, and this is where we store the distance of the how many steps we're going to take in that quest. So once we have a game quest, we need to, I think the decision from last week was add a game quest and build out the steps automatically. So let's do a flow. So we have main frame because we have to pick our characters. I think we should make a new. Well, we probably need a new game quest, right? That would be, I think that can be auto executed. Where is I feel like I'm missing one in here. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yep. New game, screen flow, creates a new game, picks characters. New game quest should handle the logic of basically choosing which quest to apply. So let's start that, and then new game quest steps would be when we save the game quest, generate steps based on how many steps have been defined. Random thing we've got to figure out in there as well. So here we go. We've got new game here already, not yet active. Let's create a new flow that I think this can just be auto. I think we can launch this. This would be launched at the start of a new game and at the end of a quest. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So it's going to take the game ID as a parameter. Like I said, we built this last week. I built it wrong. So we're going to do it again because I would love to get to the point of having steps, and then we can talk about monsters. So hopefully we'll get to steps around 3:30 or get done with this around 3:30 and start talking about monsters for the second half. Okay, so game ID, that's going to come in. That's input. We'll make that a text field. I suppose it could be the game object. I don't know. I guess that's a good question. Is it better to pass full-blown objects, or is it better to pass the ID when you're not certain that you'll have the object available? I'm going to go with the ID, and then we're just going to get the game that comes in. So let's get game. And the object is game. And we're going to get it where the ID equals the game ID that comes in. Just want the first one. And cool. Let's save this. So this is YCDRPG, new game quest. Okay. Dude. All right. So the if this game is brand new, what we want to do is look and see, are there any game quests already? So let's get the game, and then let's get the game quests. Because if we don't have any existing quests, or I should say, maybe we just get the latest game quest, right? Get latest game quest. Because that's really the only one I care about. And we could do that by created date. No, wait, we're going to get, we're going to get all records, sorted, descending, created date. Because we don't slam all the quests on the game immediately. But I'll get the most recent created. I think that's safe. Yeah, I think that's safe. We may have to, well, there may be a condition that says this is no longer safe to do, but let's start there. We just want the latest one done. And then did we actually get something back? So we'll say has latest game or has latest quest. Yes. Okay. And if latest game is not null, then we have it. If we don't, then we don't. I'm going to create a variable called next game quest, because we're going to populate that in either of those directions. We either have to requery for the first quest, which means there's no quests are linear for now. Although I guess they could branch because, well, I guess we should throw that in our data model here. Like there's a self-referencing link here. I don't like those. I like the boxy ones. Did that copy? Dude, nope. What did I just do? Grab this one. That was like a friend. Happy little arrow. So let's go from this to itself. All right, not like that. Oh yeah, that's great. Just like that. That looks perfect. That is not what I was expecting. But that's okay. Anyway, it's self-referencing, so there's a parent hierarchy here. We'll clean that up eventually. Okay, so that is gives us sequence, right? So for now, we're going to do it linear style. So quest 1, Dark Cave of Darkness. Quest 2, Flaming Volcano of Fire. Quest 3, Frozen Tundra of Freezing. Great names. We're gonna visit the whole world with all of our quests, but we'll do them in sequence. Eventually, maybe we'll get some branching or side quests or stuff like that. But I say all that because we either need to pick the first quest or the quest after the quest that's the latest quest. So, and we also probably need some statusing around our quest or our game quest. So while we're at it, let's go over here and get our game quest going. Banta Kanta Tanta. Banta Kanta Tanta. I like that. Banta. It's okay. It's very easy to read, to say once you look at it a couple of times. Banta Kanta Tanta. Says good stuff, boss. Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. It might just be you and me in here. But glad you swung by. This is entertaining. You're not going to get a ton of business value out of this show, but we have a lot of fun building stuff that you probably shouldn't do on Salesforce, but I digress. All right, GameQuest needs a status, I think, because we need to know when it's done. All the stuff we're trying to do with a new GameQuest probably shouldn't happen if the current GameQuest is not finished. So we'll throw a pick list on here. We'll say status. It's really probably just going to be, you don't need a hammer to smack a spike. That's very true. Let's say in progress and complete. We're going to need status fields all over the place now that I think about it, but that's all right. Okay, we got our permission set mojo going here. So this is on our GameQuest, so I'm going to give my admin full rights to that. If anybody knows what this is, I'll give you $1 because this feels like it just snuck in on my... I must have got winner 23 or 24 or something because I have no idea what this thing is. And sure, throw it on the layout for now. And okay, so now I got a status. We'll update our flow to support that, but in the meantime, we'll just kind of let this run wide open. So next game quest, that's going to be a record of type game quest. Do and good. So if I have a latest quest, is this a text-based game or it probably is going to start as a text-based game, or at least like a very poorly, well, I don't know. I mean, I think we're going to, a quest is going to have steps in it. That's like the most primitive way I'm thinking about it right now. So like the notion of a map isn't there, but I think it could be like, what were those games on Nintendo? Like, what was it? Shadow Quest or something like that, where you basically like walked down a hallway. Like it was very, here's a dragon. Like, what do you do? Fight dragon. So it would be kind of cool to be like, all right, you come to a flow. It's your move. You move to the next step. The next step is a forest. It shows you a pretty forest, but there's no monsters. The next step is a swamp, and there's monsters in it, and you fight the monsters, kind of Final Fantasy style, and then you kill the monsters, and then you get a treasure chest, so you get a reward item or items. So that's kind of the style. So there might be a little bit of UI here, but it's not going to be super fancy at first. But hopefully it gives us enough like kind of engine to build on top of. All right, latest quest. Do I have latest quest? Yes. Then I'm gonna. That I think that's pretty much going to be it. Although it probably maybe short and not very complex to start, but I think once we kind of get the engine rolling here, then we can have some fun with it. Like we can kind of design some quests and and do that kind of. I also want a little bit of it to be kind of like kind of randomly generated, so like more procedural. You're not playing the same quest every time, so trying to figure. I think we're going to have some fun with like the rules engine might have some probability built into it. The monsters should have like a min and maxed health, and the odds of getting monsters are based on the difficulty. I think a lot about I don't know if you've played Darkest Dungeon. That kind of pops into my mind a lot because it's procedural, but it sort of follows this like you're in this room. Sometimes there's a monster. You're in this room. There's definitely a monster. That kind of thing. But it's all dynamically generated. All right. If we have a latest quest, then we're gonna go get the next quest. And that's going to be, so we know the game quest So we know the game quest's quest, right? So we're going to go actually get the next quest and then create an instance of that. So that's where the ID equals the latest. Is this the get latest? Get latest dot. So yeah, so you can, oh, there we go. Get latest game quest. Well, actually, maybe we don't even need to query that because we have it. Yeah, actually, I don't think we need to run a query here. Scratch that. Oh, wait, yeah, we do. Oh, wait, do we have, I forget, is it previous or is it next that we have on the quest object? Previous quest. Okay. So yeah, I guess we do need to query that out. Get records quest where ID equals let's get latest quest dot okay, actually wait, it's where previous quest, right, equals the latest game quest ID. Quest. Sorry, quest. Where are you? Boop. Okay. I think that makes sense. Because if this is the first quest, I'm sorry, if this is the first quest, go get the quest whose previous quest is this quest. All right. These junction objects sometimes like, whew, okay. We only need the first one. And then we're going to, let's transform that into, well, actually, wait, let's not transform it. We'll just do, because I'm going to update. I love transforms. They're the best things since sliced bread. But we ultimately want to boil these both down to the same variable. And we can't set variables in a transform. All right, so we're going to get first quest, right? And that is going to be, well, that's a quest we're looking for. And that's just the quest whose previous is null. And just the first one, okay? And then we'll init our, did I create a new game quest? I thought I made a variable for that. I guess I didn't. New game quest. New game quest. And this is going to be a game quest. Boop. Okay, and then we'll init this on both sides. So let's see, new game quest. Well, the game is the game. All right, so we'll just get our get game.id here. And then the new game quest equals, on this side, we're getting the next quest. I think that's it. We have to do our distance. I'm just going to make these, just going to make them 10 on both sides for now. Yep, and then let's copy this over to here. And our new quest equal, well, that's the same. Get game.id. The quest is get first quest.id. And we'll set the distance to 10 again. The quest will give us a max and a min distance, and we want to pick something in between there. So probably an invocable, because that doesn't sound like a lot of fun in a flow. Oh boy, excuse me. Because there isn't a formula for random, is there? No. No. So I mean, I could kind of get like a pseudo random based on the clock, like at current time. But let's just do a random invocable. Okay, so we've got that, and then we're gonna insert that. Let's create. Oh, we got new game quest and next game quest. Which one did I populate? I'll come back to this. But new game quest. I was looking right at it. New game quest. Okay. Let's get rid of this so we don't completely confuse ourselves. And then insert new game quest. All right. And then I think we can tack on. Let's see. I think I'm going to make another subflow for doing the steps. Just because I think that's going to get kind of crazy in its structure, and yeah, it'll be easier self-contained. So after this runs, let's see. Let's put. I think I have a game. Let's test this out. Second. Oh. Let's duplicate that, and we'll go to our YCDRPG. Yep. Merlin's mission. That ID we'll test with this. It does have a quest, but I'm going to delete it. Okay. And we should get Dark Cave of Darkness back if I debug this with that game ID. There we go. Okay. So that is working. And then let's add another quest because I want to see about, I think these are all of them. Yep. So let's add a new flaming volcano of fire. We'll make this one a little bit bigger. Oh, main storyline. Right. So storylines, that's something else. I think we had that in our object model here. Why can I not grab this? Oh, there we go. Yeah, storyline. So I feel like we could eventually group quests into storylines, and then it's sort of like, you have a main storyline that the game is based on. And then you could have like add-ons. DLC, if you will, if we could create a grouping, but we'll look at that maybe a little later. You could also say like, hey, when I create a game, I want to run one of these storylines. Storylines is the best term I could come up with, but for now, we'll leave it at that. So we have our new quest, Flaming Volcano of Fire. The previous quest was the Dark Cave of Darkness. Level is, I think we're going to be able to use that as like a multiplier. I don't think it's linear per se, like, but I think we can use it to weight and tune the levels, because I think that can become a multiplier or a mathematical factor in addition to random, just to give us like a difficulty kicker on stuff. So we'll just go with 2 for now. Required, yeah, main storyline. I think, again, required is going to turn into storyline, but for another day. Is it raining? Hold on. Oh, yeah, look at that. Okay. Halloween night. Come on, don't rain on us all day. Very important night. I'm just going to look at the weather. All right, well, might be a little rainy tonight. Whew, 38 tomorrow. Winter is coming. And it's not even waiting till November. That's okay. Winter was like non-existent last year, so we'll take a little bit of the cold weather. Okay, here's Flaming Volcano of Fire. So without any restrictions here, I should be able to run. This again. Where'd you go? I should be able to debug this again and get the Flaming Volcano of Fire. And I think we did. Yep, we did. Okay, cool. That should happen because Dark Cave of Darkness is not complete. But yeah, we'll deal with that. Well, my phone's got a lot to say. We will also so we could, right? We could say like, hey, build out the whole quest, like build out all the quests, build out the whole storyline. Maybe we want to do that at some point in the future. I can't think of why, but you know, who knows? We could also technically take this same approach of having having the steps, right? They don't generate until you need it. And the challenge I was thinking about with that at the time was, well, maybe I need to know what we know how many steps we need to make. So if I think through this, if we know we're going to have 10 steps and the current step is the 10th step, that should, you know, be our boss step or something like that. Because I think our quests need to probably have a little more info about on them, about, you know, do they end with a boss? We may have some cases where we want to build the steps specifically in a quest. We can't do that right now. But we could indicate who the boss is. I think so. I'm going back on what I said last week, and want to see if we can just generate the. Maybe we can get away with just generating the quest steps as we need them, because we at least know how many steps we need to have on from the game. So let's go with that. So we create the quest, and then I think we can just have new step, right? Wherever that went. This is new game. This is new game quest. And then, so I'm going to activate this. I feel pretty good about it. I'm going to go back to new game. And after we create our characters, I got to refresh this so it sees it. Something went wrong. Okay. Something went wrong. Why are you going wrong? Let's just go back to our flow list. And new game. Kind of involved, which is why I wanted to subflow out. New game quest. New game quest. We're going to pass the game ID, which is our new game ID, because we create that somewhere here. Create game with new game. Yep, so it should have an ID by the time it gets there. All right, we'll save that. Let's, do I have another character? Let's make Thor. Sure. We got Thor and Merlin now. So let's debug new game. New game name, Thor's Missing Hammer. We can add a new character or pick an existing one. We're going to pick Thor. And I'm just going to have one character. I'm done adding characters. Thank you very much. Uh-oh. Oh, missing field, missing required, required field missing quest. Because that's, yeah, we got to clean up that data model now. We don't need on the game. What was it creating at that moment? Well, that's interesting. Create game quest using the values that are stored. Oh, do we not? Actually, wait, let's see. Init game quest. Store the values of these fields. So the question is, do we have... wait, there shouldn't be a... get next quest is what we're... So we're hitting... Oh, we're not. I think we're filtering game in new game quest. Yeah, get latest game quest here. Kind of important. Game equals get game.id. Right. Otherwise, it's searching everything. That would definitely do it. Save that as a new version, and we'll activate it again. And let's run this again. Thor's Missing Hammer. Did we get that game already? Nope, because the transaction failed. Okay, we'll pick Thor, and we're done. Go. There we go. So we should have Thor's Missing Hammer, and Thor is the character, and it's the Dark Cave of Darkness. And now we should have our... we should also have our first step. So I think I feel good about... that was our new game quest. I think I feel good about activating this. And now we're going to create a new... I'm going to add a... I'm going to make a new layout here. We'll just call it YCDRPG. Flow label contains starts with. Here we go. Save view. Cool. It's a little easier to see. Probably don't need the flow name on there, but that's all right. Okay, new game quest, and now new game quest step. So we're going to get the, we want the game quest ID. let's get our game quest. This is going to look a lot like the last one. It's a new game quest step. Okay. All right, so we get our game quest, and then we want to let's get the current get existing game quest steps. Game quest step where game quest equals get game quest.id. I think so. Again, we could, if we had a field that was the maybe the step number or the sequence on the step, we could just get a max of those and use that to decide if we are done or not. So that's probably another field that's worth adding to our game quest step. Let's add a sequence number. A little warm in here. All right, so we'll add a sequence, 3 digits. If we have some 100-step quests, I guess, could happen. All right, and yeah, sure, put that on the layout. We also need a status here. Is it always just going to be like in progress and complete? No, maybe we'll consolidate these at some point. I was going to do a global pick list, but let's see how much the pattern holds up. In progress, complete. There's probably like died, right? There's some like yeah. I mean, you could. Is that a terminal status? Dead or failed? That might be. Maybe it's in progress, success, fail. That might be a little better. If you fail may not mean dead, right? For now, we'll go with well, I want to go with this because I'm going to start maybe even pending, right? Pending, success, failure, right? Let's go with that, and I'll update the other status on the game quest too. Okay. Change this over here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of those two. Okay, that's better. And now, where were we? We were creating a game quest. So again, we're going to have some logic here. I'm going to save. Actually, let's save and refresh this. This isn't really even existing. This is like get latest game quest step. Now I could just use the same, it might not necessarily need the sequence, but I think it'll just be easier to call it out as we're, because then otherwise I'd have to, get the latest top to bottom, get the count of the records, and blah. Let's just sort descending by sequence. Only the first. All right, and then this is the same, right? This is has game step quest question mark. Yes. All right, and that would mean that latest is not null. And then we would want to compare, we'll do another decision here that says, is last step? Is last game quest step question mark? And we'll say yes. If it's yes, then we don't have anything to do. So if the sequence of latest equals the distance of the game quest, it's the last step. So we don't really need to do anything here. We shouldn't do anything. And if the so let's back up to our logic here. Does it have a step? No. Then we should load the first. Well, we should create the first step. We create our steps in any case. See, so we could actually say, hey, if you. Can I connect to end if it's the last step? Because these we just generate ourselves. We have a little bit of randomness that we can apply here. We could even have things like odds, like the step biome. That's probably if I take a page out of Minecraft. Wouldn't it be cool to do, what do they call that? What's the thing that Minecraft does to generate its maps? Voxel or something like that. Anyway, like some way to like progress from one area to another. Like that actually could be maybe something that we could explore. Is like, okay, you create a forest. Like the odds of there being forest after that forest as the next step could be, maybe could go down, could go up, or maybe it's just, again, totally random. And maybe we could have biome, quest biome factors, right? So like if you want a biome, cave, right? If you're the dark cave of darkness, should be all cave. So we would say the biome, the quest biome. In fact, let's just say biome here because we might use this in a couple of ways. So the quest biome is Cave of Darkness, quest Cave of Darkness, biome cave, odds 100%. And then you would want your odds to total up to, or probability, right, is 1 for that versus all the other ones. Or maybe you have like a, magma, right? And that's 1%. Biomes could also play into monsters, tell us what kind of monsters appear in what kind of biomes. And yeah, that could be cool. Okay, for another day. Let's see. What do we got here? Anyway, creating our new game quest step. Let's see. If it has a step, yes. Is it the last step? Yes. Don't do anything. If it doesn't have the last step, then we're going to create next step. And if it doesn't have a step, we're going to create first step. But in all cases, we're going to create we're going to create we're going to create our game quest step, right? Create new game step quest. And that's going to be, we're going to fill that out. So here's where this is wrong, right? This should actually just be the game quest equals the get game quest ID. My phone is ringing. I'm going to say no thank you. We have some more fields to fill out here. Let's say, sequence for the moment is 1. We know we need to update that. And we've got that game lookup. That doesn't belong here. Because we're always going to do that, right? We're going to do that from here. We're going to do that from here. But we're not going to do it from here. So I want this to short circuit somehow. So if I go here, I just want to get past it on this last one. I can't do it. I mean, I could have one more condition here, but I just feels gunky. Oh, so what about this? Right? Can I do an assignment here that's just no op, right? And then we can just say I don't know if I can do that. Well, can we just flip our logic, right? Let's just flip this to say it's complex logic, right? If this equals false, if this equals true, right? Or this is less than that. So let's tweak this, right? Decision, create new game quest step, question mark. The answer is yes if, I'll stop trying to be so cute. We create it if get latest game step is null, true, or if latest game step sequence is less than the game quest distance. So if either of those are true, we do stuff. So we take this and we drop you in there, and then this whole thing can go away. Bump. Ta-da, Yahoo. And save that. Now let's go do a little bit of data model mojo here, because game quest step does not need a link to the game. This should become a Master detail. Except it can't. Oh. The related object already has 2 master. Right. Never mind. Can't do that. That's okay. That should be fine. I haven't even looked at this from a security model perspective yet, but let's just try to get the basics down and see if and where we need to tweak things. Okay. So let's debug this. I have some game quests out here. Let's use Thor's Missing Hammer. And that game quest is... right, there's our game quest ID. Call that pending. We'll go back and add the logic for those as well. Let's debug you. Okay, created a step. I feel like I tried to make this the page layouts a little bit obscured so you couldn't see the records, but I think I need to at least go back in and put the lookup or the junction object IDs in here because I'm getting confused. So this is game. Let's grab game quest, game quest name. Do that. Yep, there's, and let's edit that again and call it what it is. There, don't get too cute and bury things in there. So this is the game quest. We should have the quest. Oh wait, this is on the quest. So yeah, this quest is related to this game. And then if I go to the game, I want to update this. Both of these really. Right, let's call this game quests. And that's the quest name. I'll put the game quest name out here. Whoops. That was weird. Excuse me. Okay. And then let's do the same thing for the characters. Totally feasible to have the same character running the same, or running different games. It's like the Marvel multiverse. Save that, and let's go back. This should make a little more sense now. Merlin and Merlin's Quest. Yep. We might make that just a auto number. Yeah. I think that's a little confusing. So let's go to our game character object. Maybe. Game character. And we'll make this, let's change this to an auto number. And we'll say GC. All right, and I don't think it's gonna, is it gonna, maybe it does. That's weird. Did I not save that? I don't think I saved that. I don't think I saved the layout. Wait, no, it's right here. Right, so I think this one, if I delete this and then add, we'll add Merlin back. Oh, except I took that away. Well, I mean, we can, we'll throw it back in. Nope, not that. Okay, now we can throw a new character in there. Maybe. Oh, wait, am I not showing the... I think you have to show the function, what do they call it, action bar? Show list view action bar. There we go. Hopefully that shows it now. Yay. All right, new character, Merlin. Merlin's mission. That makes... Okay. That looks a little bit less confusing, at least for me. Game characters, game quests. The quest probably needs a sequence also. That probably makes sense. Right? I think so. And yeah, we probably need a sequence on the game quests. I suspect it might come in handy. Well, it does have the next and previous, so maybe that's not as big of a deal. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that probably doesn't matter. Okay, so we made a new step. Let's just make sure. Merlin's mission. Oh wait, let's look at Thor's. I think I tested it with Thor's missing hammer, Dark Cave of Darkness. Oops, clicked on the wrong. Refresh you. In here, I have to lay this out a little bit. Okay, let's edit this page. Do dynamic mojo. There we go. I've been doing, what have I been doing? 2 equal columns, 2 equal regions. There we go. And then we'll pull information up. And we'll have any related? What is related? Game quest steps. I'll drop in here. Get rid of that. Okay, and then that's our quest name. That's our game. That's our quest, our distance, and our status. Oops. So let's do status. Yeah, that looks good. And then we'll... Oh, we just want a single related list. Game quest steps. Let's upgrade you. Get rid of that. And what do we want to show here? We want to show... We don't want to... I don't think we want the action bar. Well, I guess we can show the action bar. We just don't want any actions. And we got the name, and then let's do sequence. Let's do status. And I think that's it, right? And let's order this by status or by sequence ascending. And that's probably good. Activate. make it the app default for this on both. Sure. And let's go back. Okay, so we just don't have a sequence on here because I don't think we're setting it. We should make that pending by default. So in our game quest step, pending default here, and then I guess on our game quest, we have a status there. Yep. Pending default. All right. And then probably even our game needs something. But for now, okay, we've created steps successfully. Now we will need some. Okay, we have a couple of conditions though that we need to add out here, right? So, whoops, let's go back to our flow. I just want to make sure I have the latest. Create a new one. If latest is null or sequence is less, and we're going to fix this, sequence or status does not equal pending. Or actually, I should say only if it equals success, right? So this is complex logic, 1 or 2 and 3. We're not going to make another step if you're dead or if you're still fighting. Okay. Activate that one. We can go back to refresh you. We can go back to new game quest now. And then we also have condition here. So has latest quest. This is the same logic really. So if we're gonna have to have the same thing here where we say we need to deal with what if the quest is over, right? Oh, excuse me. I want to add that to the backlog so we can come back to that. Missing logic in new game quest flow if game quest is over. All right, so we'll need to add that. Latest quest versus first quest. So if it has a latest quest, then it's not null, and get latest does not equal equals pending. Oh wait, no, equals success, right? Yep, same deal. We're not going to create a new quest if the current one is still still going. Or if you're dead, failure. And then there's got to be some way for us to say, so when we start, we look to see if previous is blank, right? In this case, we want to look to see if this is the last quest, right? If the one that we're dealing with, if the latest game quest is the last one, it means that there's no quest who is looking at it as its previous. That's our logic, right? So let's add that. I don't think we're going to build that just this moment, but let's see. Condition equals, like a word wrap in here. Condition equals current quest. There are no quests where previous equals latest quest, right? I think so, yeah. So I think that's it. So I'll have to come back to that. Okay. So I think we've got a game. We can create a new game. I guess we should overtake the new action here. New. I forgot. I can't make. Got to make a override. Or I guess I could throw that into a lightning component. Put the flow in a lightning component, maybe. Or I could make a new action, I guess, right? Make it create a. No, I don't want to do that. I think I got to override this. Do I need to? Is that what I need to do? I always get lost when I come in here. That's not what I want. New action. Yeah, so I could do a flow, but I think we just want to override this with. But for another day, we'll fire it up from our. We probably can even just have a dashboard that runs all those. Okay, so that is new game, new step. So not really thoroughly tested, but I just want to work on monsters. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go grab something to drink real quick, and we'll be back in just a moment so I can not die of dehydration. Be right back. Okie dokie dokie. Let's see here. Gotta put the table down a little bit. Gonna have a sitsy. Ugh. Hello. We're back. Put that away. I might hop off screen for a second to eat a granola bar, but got a drink here. Gonna drink it. There we go. Still waiting for that Liquid Death sponsorship. Okay. Monsters. Monsters, monsters, monsters. Monsters. What do we need for monsters? We need hit points. We need experience points. We need levels, ranges for each of these until we create a monster. Yeah, let's just get started on one and see what we get. First, let's just go ahead and pull all of our changes here. I've been having a lot of trouble with the push and pull calls in SFDX. So I've just been doing this from the command, or at least what VS Code returns. So I've just been doing these in the command line, and seems to work a little better. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not working the other way. Let's see. What are we gonna get? We did quite a bit of work, or at least it felt like it. So let's see how we do here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we did some stuff. Did we get we got our flexi pages, we got our layouts, permission sets. This all makes sense, I think. Okay, yep. Got all that. We'll get that into source control later, or it's in source control. We'll push it at the end of the show. Got everything, and now let's make a new object. Monster. You're a monster. Monsters. So fitting for Halloween. Reports, sure. Let's make a tab, because we're actually going to make them searchable too. I don't think there is a monster icon. Could be wrong. Which shall we use? Is there an octagon? Like a stop sign? Moon. Because werewolf or something. Nighttime spooky. There we go. I'm going with it. All right, we're not giving that to anybody. We need to make a new permission set for this one. And put it into YCDRPG, and I'm just going to grab another tab and make a permission set. Got all our objects, so let's make a monster admin. Access to everything. make sure we put it in our group. I don't know if I've been creating game player. What was I doing? Oh, that's the I haven't created the non-admin object permissions yet. So we don't have much in player for now, but that's okay. We'll just keep working in admin mode. Monster admin done. Okay, got that. And so now I can freely roam about the monsters. It has a name and it has min and max HP, I think. Sure, let's go big there. I'm gonna write this out. Go back and fix the other one. Yeah. No. Supposed to fill it out. There we go. I know. Min-max. Let's do min-max experience points, because we got to have those, right? And max experience points. All right. Got those. Check. Weakness, resistance, immunity. What do we call those? Because I think those could be things for other things, right? Those could be there's something that we could call those, like, you know, they could be the what do we call those? Their properties. What would we call them? I mean, we have attributes for inventory. So I wonder if attribute is just going to really turn into like kind of a generic thing to describe stuff. Because you could have an attribute called, an attribute of called weakness, and then a descriptor. Let's fire up a thesaurus. What if we just said label? I wonder if we could... Because I feel like we could use these for a lot of different... It's okay, like we need a big bucket of adjective. It's basically adjective, right? I need an adjective object that can describe these things. But maybe we'll come back to that, because I think we're going to have to answer that for our character, for our items, for our monsters, for our steps, right? They're all going to have adjectives, and some of them might overlap. So, because like a shield, right, could have resistance to fire. And if the the attacks of a monster are fire, well, then you have like a fire versus fire situation. So that will be interesting to figure out how to design that, for sure. For right now, just to we'll keep it simple. Let's, and I don't want to get too abstract down that path, because maybe we have, maybe we just have a lot of those, right? And we come to understand like what different characteristics are, like, biome, if monster weakness, monster resistance, monster immunity, weapon, shield weakness. That's the same thing. Shield weakness, shield resistance, shield immunity, weapon, weapon strength, weapon, or maybe weapon element. Maybe it's all elements, right? All right, Pokemon. Let's think about Pokemon, right? You have all these, you have these elements that are like, fire, magic, darkness, whatever. I'm just writing down biomes, right? They're like forest, swamp, cave. Because we do have an element object that we were thinking about down here. Let's move this up here. Oops. 12. That does not look like 12 point. Fire, ice, darkness. It's all about like, bonus versus weakness, I guess we would say. So I want to call these like, you know, like descriptor. I don't know what to call them. Descriptors, right? Like you have, right? You have weakness, resistance, immunity, which is technically like 100% resistance, I guess. And then just like, all right, bonus, right? Poison. Ooh. These could all be in terms of like multipliers, right? Maybe that's what we call them, right? Multipliers. There's something there, right? All of these do stuff. They add or they increase or reduce abilities. Something. Something like that. Oops, sorry, just a thing here. Okie dokie, sorry about that. Okay, multipliers, something there. Not done, but will do. Okay, this is not what we did. Element. Boop, boop, boop. We did do monster. So our next, I guess this would actually be game quest step monster, right? Yep. We're quickly running into our probability. Yep. So we need a way to get a random number back, and sometimes we need it to be between two numbers, and sometimes we need it to just be like a straight multiplier. So I think that means invocable. I think that's what that means. All right, so let's do that. So we have to write a little code. I feel like we did this with. Did we do this with Uno or with rock paper scissors? Let's see. That's RPS. Where's Uno? So many. Uno. Get random number. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. That will just return a math.random. So that's super easy. Simple invocable. We get that back. But what I think I might want is like a couple of these, right? So let's think about what we need for randoms here. Let's make a section called invocables. Well, let's throw it in the backlog first. Random number between two numbers, right? We're going to need that. We're going to need just a random, oops. Random number between, I mean, just a random, the default is between 0 and 1. I think it's time to summon ChatGPT to give us our answers. Let's see what we can find here. Not that. Not that. What's going on? Hang on a second. Let me throw this up here so I don't show y'all my credit card numbers or something. Chat, GPT. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay. Safe. Doot. Let's see. We want you to write. Let's see. Write an Apex method that returns a random number between two numbers passed as parameters. What did you have to say for yourself, ChatGPT? Here's an example between two numbers. This is not Apex, this is Java, but okay. Or maybe they made up their own exception here. So math.random, scale the random to fit within the desired range. The min plus the random times the max minus the min. Generate a number between 1 inclusive and 10 exclusive. So I guess that's, so you're never going to get a 10, I guess, is the challenge there. Let's ask, let's see, how do we make this inclusive of 10? Okay, so it's just a +1. Good robot. Now I'm trying to think. If this was 0 and 1, right, we could use the same. I mean, technically that's what math.random returns. But if I just wanted to write one function here, could I, let's see. If math returns 0.5, 0 plus, well, let's see, 1 minus 0 plus 1, that's 2. Min is 0, so random decimal times 2. But if it was 0.6, I guess if I wanted it between 0 and 1, I actually want it between 0 and 0, right? So the min is 0, 0 plus random decimal times 0 minus 0 plus 1. That would give me what I want. Yeah, it's just the same thing, only different. So I think we could have the same, create it, do it all in one. It's just a little confusing if it's oops, where'd you go? Lost you. Come back, chat. GPT. Oh, there you are. Boop. I don't know why it thinks I'm in Spanish? Huh. Is that Spanish? I don't know. I mean, we could just also say, like, if if it equals, well, let's see, will we ever actually have, we'll have a min-max for hit points, we'll have a min-max for experience points, we'll have a min-max for number of steps, we'll have a min-max for, we probably round it to the nearest, now return the value rounded to the nearest integer. But we're not doing our +1 here all of a sudden. Min-max, min-max, +1. It's a little confused. Can't just trust the robots. I don't think that's going to be inclusive. I think they're missing a step there. But let's see, Apex. Rounding. Isn't there there's another rounding that has the nature of which to round. What is that? Oh, is it floor? That rounds down. Does that always round down? Ceiling always rounds up. Returns the value that is closest to decimal. closest and is equal to a mathematical integer. Closest, so I think that will do. Do not use. Round is deprecated. Round to long. I didn't know that. Okay, so let's let's make this Apex class. It's invocable. Pull this from Uno. Let's not split this anymore. Okay, so we're going to pass in some numbers and we're going to return some numbers. It's taking a list, even though we're probably just going to pass in one. So we need to do a little bit more logic here. And how are we going to pass these? It's a list of. We need a request object, yeah. These are invocable variables. And I guess these should be decimals, right? I guess if we wanted to make it usable, min. Max, so this is going to be a list of requests. All right, so we'll make these responses, which will just be the numbers. Oops. Dude. For this will be our thing. Let's see. Public static. Okay. Taken verbatim, which I think we still need this +1 situation, right? So let's get the random here, right? If min and max equal those, then let's just return the random, right? Let's say if min is greater than max, then let's just flip them, I guess. If min is greater than max, then let's see, decimal temp max equals min, min equals, let's say max equals min, and then min equals temp max. That'll cover that. Okay, and then because let's see, min, max, inclusive. Random decimal, let's see, min plus the random times all of that. Or basically really just return this, right? Okay. And then return responses. There we go. Okay, let's try this out a little bit. I'm going to just build a little. Because we're going to need to say... Just going to create a... I want to run a quick test for this. This code will probably turn into my test plan, or my unit test. R equals new. Well, let's do a 0 and 1 test first. Right. And let's do that. And run this. Yep. Oops. All right. Outs. 0.55. Do it again. What? Unexpected token. What did I do? 1.7 or 0.17, 0.35. Okay, it's doing randos. So now let's go between 1 and 10. And this is going to round. Can we tell it how to round, though? Like, I want to... I mean, I guess I could just get the raw number back and then do some formula mojo. With just like floor and ceiling. So it's not really the responsibility. The sole responsibility of this invocable is just to give you a random number between two numbers. So let's see what this does between 1 and 10. I almost just want to run it like 10 times and see what 4x do that. Let's see what we get 10 times over. Easier. Oh, now we got a 10.1. So maybe this +1 needs to not be there. Let's see. All right, try it again. Let's do 100 of them. See if it feels random-y. We got a 9.7 in there. Yeah. Do we have some low ones? I guess that's the other question. Yep, okay. I got a 106. All right. All right, feels good. Not sure why the 0 or the +1 disappeared, but there you have it. We got a random number generator. And if we just want the random number, we go from 0 to 1 and we'll get our thing back. Okay, cool. So now let's go back and retrofit a couple of things in our org, which is where here. So we can do new game quest. Refresh you. New game quest. When we create the game quest, right? We are setting the distance there, and I'm going to set it to the no. We need to get random number on both sides, right? Let's see, action. let's see, let's say get first quest, right? So get first quest distance. First quest, min steps. Probably should call that steps, right? Not distance. First quest, max steps. And let's just copy that and paste you there. Looks like get next quest. I'm going to say steps because I really want to change that field name. Good. Now, can I do this yet? Is it going to let me? All right. Get next quest. I feel like that used to be a issue. Like you couldn't just type those in like that. Get next quest. All right. And then set this distance equal to number from get first. No. What side are we on here? This is the next number from get next quest steps. Okay. Save as a new version. Actually, we need to formula those, right? Because that's going to be a... can I formula that? Got floor, right? Rounds a number down towards 0. Down to the nearest, away from 0 if negative. What is ceiling? Up. So if it's 0.5. Oh wait, no. We really like what's what's the formula? What's the Salesforce formula for rounding? There's round. What else is there? Oh, don't do all this. Does round just round? To the nearest number you specify. Wait. Okay, so if I ceiling, it's going to the next hole. If I floor, it's going down. If I round, to the nearest integer, automatically rounds based on the decimals, uses a round half up. Halfway values are rounded up. So would that mean would that mean because I want to say half, halfway goes up. So I think if I just do round to 0, right? Then I think I'll get what I want. I think I'm just going to put both of these in a output variable. Let's call it let's just say steps random, sure. And we'll make that a number. It's got a lot of decimals. Let's just go with like 4, I guess. Probably 2 is fine, right? Yeah, 2 is fine. Well, if I wait, if we do that, will it round it from here? Maybe it'll just round it. Let's just try that, right? So this we'll set steps random here, and then we'll set steps random here. Doesn't really even need to be steps random, it can just be steps. And done, and put this in the steps, whoops. Steps. Steps and steps. Okay, create game quest. What's going on here? Shouldn't be upset about anything there. Okay, let's activate this. And I'm going to just dump everything, I think. I just want to delete. Do we need to do all these? I don't know. I don't think we do. There's some parent-child or master detail here. I'll just run them all for now. Yep. There we go. Okay, now we should have nothing. We have no games, so let's open up new game here, run it. We'll put 2 players in this one. We haven't tested that yet. Let's put Thor in there. Oops. Gonna be really clever with my names here. Okay. What just happened? Oh, did it make the game? Huh. G2. Yep, 2 characters. First quest. Let's put the steps out here. So edit page. Which is still distance, but that's okay. 12. And then what was the Dark Cave of Darkness limit? Max steps 12. All right. Let's trash it and try it again. It seems very odd that it would be. Well, maybe it. Hold on. Is it still max steps? Because I don't think I've activated that. New. Where'd you go? New game. No, it is activated. So create game. New game quest. Steps. 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 Oh, I first of all, I did min-max these backwards. Those are not that it should matter. It should correct that in the thing. Okay. Yeah, that should work. So let's do it again. Okay, 9. All right, cool. Okay, so there's that. So that is randoming. That's cool. And then we could get the current. We could probably do a lookup for the or do a roll up on GameQuest. Can we do a roll up? I don't know if it's No, we can't because it's not a master detail on GameQuest step because it is the detail of 2 masters already. So that's not going to happen. Sorry, just checking in on life here. Okay, all is good. It's Halloween, so we just gotta make sure we're all good here. Alrighty, alrighty. Okie dokie. So that's where else did we need to random? Step? Do we need a random? I don't think do we need to random anything in step? New game quest is good. New game is good, except we need new game to end up somewhere that doesn't just go back to the start. Let's see. Let's backlog that. Right. Oops. Backlog. Oh, so we did these, right? Can I put emoji in here? Can I put a checkbox emoji? I like this one. I like the check mark button. Need that. Is that going to work in Markdown? Probably, right? I mean, New game flow just restarts after completing. Need a finished screen. Okay. Can do. And then new game, let's see, get game quest, latest step. There's gonna be some randoms, right? We're gonna have to do, we had some other things on our, our quest. Or did we? Let's see. The quest is going to give us our steps. I want to change that field from distance to steps. That's not it. Game quest. Okay. Alrighty. And then, so let's think about this. We create a step, or game quest step. It needs monsters. And then we need to dictate how many monsters get created on that step. What drives the number of monsters? Is it the biome? Is it the quest? What rule would work here? We could have the quest dictate max monsters per step. We could have steps just say it's going to be random, right? It feels like it could be like a multiplier on a multiplier, right? Max steps, min steps, max step monsters, min step monsters. Let's do that. Let's have the quest dictate. I think we could start there. What's a reasonable max to reasonable number of monsters? I don't think you're going to have more than, we'll make it a 2-digit. I'm glad we didn't have to do all that formula mode, Joe, and we could just default the value to or use the number of decimal points, and we set the variable. I like that. That was cool. All right, max step monsters, min step monsters. So when we create a step, then we have to create monsters. Right? So once again, there's a lot of new game quest step monsters, I guess. I think we should just add a monsters count to the step. Would that make sense? We also need to make an association here. So I need a game quest step monster object. It's going to keep going, I think. Yeah. GQSM. Okay. Sure, allow reports. Which is going to... Wait, before we do that, let's add our permission set so I can make it easier to assign them. Game quest step monster admin. I'm afraid these names are going to get too long. Games quest step monsters. Okay. Put that in our admin. And I think this one name needs to change. Game step admin. I think it needs to be game quest step admin. I think. Game quest step, yeah. Okay, and back to our object now. Wait, I don't know if we can make game quest step. Oh, we can make game quest step a master. So if it goes away, this is the game quest step monster. Yes. Okay. Sure. And we also need the monster. I think we can make this a master detail. Monster. Probably need to trim all of those permission set names. Just get rid of the underscores because they're getting a little long. Okay, so this will associate, for goodness, a monster to, and then this is going to be hit points, right? We're going to calculate that. Is it 18? I don't know. Monster admin, doot. Next. Save a new. Experience points. Yep. And monster admin, doot. Now those multipliers, eventually, we're not implementing those yet, but eventually those could either live at the, at the quest level, or at the, not the quest, the monster level, or we could actually generate their values dynamically between, again, some ranges, right? So much of this is tuning, you know. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, this would be a really interesting, like, not really interesting. This would be a fun kind of AI project or, experiment, right? Like, run 1,000,000 games, simulate in the parameters that are here, right? And see how well the outcomes are at different, based on different steps and with different monsters, right? Monster counts. So you could have quite a few variable data points there, steps, really total monsters. That might be some stats that we could capture, right? So maybe we do have like some game stats. Total monsters, total damage dealt, total, items collected. I guess items collected you could probably see. I feel like when a game ends, there's probably like some cleanup to do. Like, it's useful for us to have this data sort of floating out there for game in progress. Like, we want to know that there's 12 dragons you have to fight on this step, and as you fight them, you're eliminating them. The question would be like, when do you get rid of stuff, right? There's a lot of data points that'll be generated in a game. We might even need like a turn kind of, again, I'm thinking like maybe the Darkest Dungeon style of fighting where everybody takes a swing, right? It's sort of randomly determined, again, randomly, and possibly with some luck, of who goes first. And some of that stuff, I wonder if maybe we'll have a little bit more invocable mojo. I could see having like, here's your monsters, given a list of monsters and a list of characters. Here's the luck factor that each of them has. And then relative to the min and the max luck that are coming in, apply probability to, or do a random with a bonus essentially of luck that would tell you who fights first. The hope is you can kill a monster before it gets a chance to attack, if you all get to go first. And then the attacks themselves have some bonuses as well, like, did you hit, did they dodge, all that stuff. So that's going to be fun. I am not an expert in these rules, so I might do a little bit of research between now and the next episode to see, maybe learn about some of these things, because we're quickly running into, like, take this variable, this variable, this variable, and do something with them, right? Probably with a little random mixed in. How do they impact one another? And how do you come out the other end with a value that drives something? So I might look around for some of that. There could be some algorithms out there that people use for this kind of stuff. See what some other game engines do in this style, and just try some of that out. In the meantime, I feel like we're at a good spot. We created our monsters. We haven't added monsters to a step yet. We have to create this. I created this object. We threw a couple fields on it. Where'd it go? Game quest step monster. He's got experience points. Those get calculated based on a range. Monster's got hit points. It's calculated based on a range. They will be added to game quest steps. The number of monsters we're going to base on the quest for now, I think. Yep, max step monsters, min step monsters. So when a step is done, it will get this, and it will pass into probably another flow. Make me monsters based on this make me X monsters, essentially. And is there anything else that's going to drive monsters? Probably that level of the game quest might be useful, or the level of the quest. I don't know exactly what that's going to do yet, but I could see us saying, like, hey, this quest is a level 5. You should use level 5 monsters. So our baseline might be, those multipliers could just be a factor, right? So that it might not be a level, it might be a challenge factor or something like that, right? So everything that makes monsters stronger and makes players weaker we could roll both of those. And then that multiplier in a step, right? So in the quest, it could, it's like data point, data point, data point, data point, data point. This is wild. This is really wild. Like if you wanted to be sort of randomly generated without the values going to crazy town, and either, like, you got to give your I don't want to say it's all like predetermined, but you've got to give the player a chance at surviving, which again I think is going to be tuning. We can't punish the player all the time. I think there are some, like, as the difficulty goes up, it's not so much that your damage has to go down. It's just that the monsters get stronger, right? I think that's important to note. The exception being that while maybe not as we have to think about the rarity of stronger weapons. Like there's so many things. There's so many things that are going to come up. This is really wild. And take these games for granted, man. And Final Fantasy was no joke under the hood. We're nowhere near that right now. And that's like basic level kind of stuff. So it's fun. This is a fun one. This is going to be a challenge. For now, let's stick with what we've got. I don't think we've got 10 minutes left. It is Halloween. I've got to go put my sweet costume on. Let's make sure everything is saved and everything is pushed. I'm going to push everything now, and then I'll take inventory of the metadata that we've built, and I will push or upload this episode. I'm talking to you now as if you are watching right now, but if you're watching later, you can never mind. But and then let's pull everything here. Okay, there's everything. And now let's see, what's been my naming convention for this? I think I just used the episode. Yes, so episode 2. We shall push everything here. Boom. Commit and push all staged items. And I think we got it. Yep, I guess it could be a good kid, and maybe next week we'll do some branching and some pull requests to get our episode branch back up to our main branch. That would be good. Not that there's anyone else doing this, but we can bundle in some Git best practices here as well. So I think that's the end of our show today. Yeah. Happy Halloween. And I'm Tom, and you can't do that on Salesforce. See you next time.